Well, that's the national anthem's done with. And shortly to get underway, the vacant European Heavyweight Championship. This title given up, in fact, by Lennox Lewis. Akinwande managed by Mickey Duff. And Axel Schulz by Wilfried Sauerland, our joint promoter. It is, in fact, a three-way promotion. Jean-Christophe Courage, the Frenchman, Wilfried Sauerland and Mickey Duff. And Akinwande being exceptionally well paid for this contest. And Schulz, you couldn't get two more different men fighting for this title. Schulz likes to rumble forward, he is strong. And Akinwande likes to flick his punches out at long range. So I can't remember the last time that two unbeaten heavyweights fought for this title. Round one then. And in all weights, there's been 23 meetings between Britons and Germans for European titles. And Britain have won 13, they've lost 7 and drawn 2. So that means that Germany's lost 13. So at least we're on the right side. Axel Schulz, the German heavyweight champion in the white trunks. And Akinwande, of course, having a bit of a problem getting some credibility in England. He's got the likes of Frank Bruno, Herbie Hyde, and Lennox Lewis around him. Lennox Lewis, of course, now the WBC heavyweight champion, handed that title by default. And the last man to get it by default was, in fact, Ken Norton, you might remember, back in '78. And he failed to retain it when he fought Larry Holmes the first time as WBC champion. And let's hope Lennox can do one better than that. So, Henry Akinwande then, from Lewisham in South London, in the blue trunks. And he's got a good uppercut, Henry. And he'll be wanting to use that against this shorter Axel Schulz, as Axel bores himself in. They've sparred with each other quite a bit in the past. Akinwande using that long spearing jab in this first round. He won't want to get involved in a punch-up with Schulz. Schulz is a strong man, and nice and quick as well. And Akinwande can be a bit of a crab on occasion. He knows how to hang on. Former two-time super heavyweight champion as an amateur. Schulz, a former European junior champion, and came runner-up as a senior in the European Championships. Also beaten the semi-finals in the World Championships. And of course a former German amateur champion, representing the East, as it was then. And this contest could prove to be hard to score. So what do you take? Akinwande's long but light punches, or those rushing attacks of Axel Schulz? I personally, of course, always go for the man who lands most punches, and for my money, that was Akinwande. So he's got 10 points, Schulz has got 9. It's the full-point system, the one-point system in European title fights, with 2 judges and a scoring referee. Referee Daniel van der Wiel, the Belgian, and Raymond Bachelet, the French judge, along with Paolo Scarzo from Italy. And do yourselves a favour, score this one at home. Give the winner of each round 10 points, the loser a proportionate amount less. And if you think that the round is level, give them 10 each. Normally, of course, the loser of the round would get 9 points, so try and work it out for yourselves. This is sure to be one of those testing scorecards. Round 2 then of a scheduled 12 for the vacant European Heavyweight Championship. And of course, Schulz knows full well he can't afford to stand back and allow Akinwande to pick him off like this. They have got a couple of common opponents. As they both box Ramon Vaughan from Holland and Steve Garber from England. In fact, Akinwande's last fight was against Steve Garber, our mate from Bradford. He beat Steve in 2 in Manchester. Schulz beat Ramon Vaughan in 5 rounds. Henry Akinwande outpointed Vaughan over 8. So that gives you some idea of what we've got here. And Akinwande wants to use his feet and every inch of this ring, because Schulz is going to be in an explosive mood here. He's going to try and use his punches to good effect, but only when it suits him. Naturally, of course, trying to catch Henry on the chin. And Akinwande's a pretty decent puncher when he gets the timing right, but he does tend to pitter-patter on occasion. And the problem with Axel Schulz being a puncher rather than a worker is that he needs to set himself before he throws them. And Akinwande, of course, can see that coming, stab out a left hand and move his feet and leave Schulz to set himself again. Bit of shoulder there from Akinwande, the Londoner. On this Berlin ice rink, crammed with 2,300 paying spectators, as the bell ends the second, and once again I think Akinwande's taken it. Same tactics as in round 1. Give you some idea of the Britons that have held this title way back in the 60s. Dick Richardson was European heavyweight champion, followed by John McCormack. Henry Cooper had it in 68. Joe Bugner in 71. Chris Finnegan in 72 was a light heavyweight champion. Richard Dunn was the heavyweight champion in 76. Henry beat Bernd August in 3 rounds. I saw that fight. I was in Germany at the time. And a couple of cruiserweights that have won it, Sammy Reeson and Johnny Nelson. Round 3 then of a scheduled 12, and this vacant European heavyweight title given up by Lennox Lewis. In fact, Lewis was forced to give up the championship because the EBU, in their wisdom, scheduled him to meet this man, Henry Akinwande. Akinwande was the leading contender for the European Championship, and of course, the same night, Lennox Lewis was boxing himself against Razor Ruddock. Consequently, this title became vacant. Nice punches coming in from Akinwande. They're nice and fast. Always was a pretty quick puncher. I have a feeling that Schulz's better rounds, maybe the later rounds. Akinwande's got he seems to have a habit of losing concentration. But it's going to be hard for Henry to get the nod in Germany, in a close fight anyway, as you'd expect if this one was in London. Well, Schulz letting his punches go, but Henry Akinwande is just dipping his head and slipping those shoulders, and the punches are missing. And he had a great fight. You might have actually remember seeing it. Axel Schulz I'm talking about, and he beat Bernd Friedrich on points over 10 rounds for the vacant German heavyweight title. That was in Kassel in Germany. Well, this crowd, of course, cheering everything that Schulz does. And Henry Akinwande has never boxed beyond 8 rounds in his professional career. Well, I think Schulz has earned Akinwande's respect in that round. There's not too much in it, possibly a level round, so in that case you give them 10 points apiece. But I've still got Henry Akinwande a couple of points in front with 3 rounds gone, and there's 9 more to go. What is she wearing?
Der deutsche Meister ist geboren am 9. November 1968 in Barcelona, hat seitdem bestritten 15 Kämpfe.
That was a nice leading left hook from Henry Akinwande. So we've got 3 rounds completed. Round 4 coming up after this break. Stay with us. This vacant European Heavyweight Championship. Henry Akinwande from London in action against Axel Schulz, the German. Schulz comes from Bad Sadov in the east originally. Only 24 years of age, Axel Schulz, and which is nothing for a heavyweight, of course. They don't normally mature until their late 20s. And Akinwande now 27. So he's approaching his peak years physically. He's always been a long string bean of a fighter, the tallest heavyweight in Europe at 6'7". Actually beat Herbie Hyde as an amateur, and a match between the two was mooted about a year ago, or within the last year I should say, but hasn't come to fruition. Pity really. Wouldn't mind seeing that one, but the fight's been talked up sufficiently for it to be attractive for people to pay to watch it. We've just got to wonder to what extent. And you couldn't get a greater contrast in 2 fighters. Schulz, of course, will just have to keep bundling forward, trying to take away the legs of Akinwande, keep him moving, get him tired for the later rounds where he might just be susceptible to a big punch. Well, a couple of good rights there from Schulz. And when you find that But when Akinwande finds himself under pressure, he throws out pity-pat punches. He stops standing his ground. Akinwande then switched to southpaw for a second, as once again Schulz tries to push him back. Nice body shots from Akinwande. Oh, and a good right from Schulz. That's what he's looking for. Of course, this squealing crowd will react to everything that Axel does, which in turn might just reflect on the judges. You never know. Well, there wasn't too much in that one either. So a 10-10 round. So with 4 rounds gone, I've got Akinwande with 40 points and Schulz with 38. And take no notice of my scores, but I'm just trying to encourage you to do it yourselves. A lot of people do make a mental note, but if you're really serious about learning to score, do it on paper. Akinwande does tend to slap on occasion. So round 5, scheduled for 12. Henry Akinwande in the blue from London against the German Axel Schulz. And surprisingly, Schulz, being an East German, has got a pretty attractive style against the right opponent. Akinwande, though, would make Mike Tyson look clumsy. Nice left-hand work from Henry Akinwande. And again, that snappy jab, double left hook also. Wait for Schulz to try and bore in when he gets the chance. That's it, right hand, left hook from Schulz. And there's a lot of rivalry here between both camps. They are in fact promotional partners, Mickey Duff and Wilfred Sauerland, and yet the respective managers of both these protagonists strangely enough, Akinwande seems to allow himself to be a bit intimidated on occasion. I'm sure we've not seen the best of Henry yet. And there's not a great deal of money to be made as European heavyweight champion these days, principally because there's just no heavyweights left in Europe. Well, Schulz there once again tries his rushing tactics, but he's not landing. Well, that's a good round for Henry. So he gets 10 points and Axel gets 9. So with 5 rounds gone, 50 points to 47. That's only on my card, remember. And this is a giant step up in class for Axel Schulz. Schulz a pro now for, in fact, since May of 1990. Beat my old mate Barry Ellis on points over 6 in his 3rd fight. Stopped Steve Garber in 5 in his 6th. Also one of the few men to actually stop Steve G from Birmingham. Last Britisher that Schulz boxed was Gary McCrory, beaten in 2. McCrory, of course, brother of Glenn, the former IBF champion. This is round 6. And last time out, which might be significant, Axel Schulz took 8 rounds to outpoint Ricky Parkey, the former cruiserweight champion for the IBF. That was in October. Now, Ricky Parkey generally falls over at the slightest invitation, so that's a bit worrying about the power of Axel Schulz, because Parkey was there to be hit. And 4 fights ago, Henry Akinwande boxed the ill-fated Michael Richards, the former Midlands area heavyweight champion, who collapsed and sadly died at home, only 25 years of age. What a terrible shame. Also, rather surprisingly, I spoke to Johnny Fury about this. He beat Gypsy Johnny Fury on a 3rd round knockout, and Johnny said he'd never been hit so hard. And I think it's the timing and actual speed of Akinwande's punches that make the difference. It's not body weight for sure, because he's not a heavyweight. Nice jabbing from Henry Akinwande. Well, Schulz once again trying to rush forward with his strength. Walks onto punches though. Well, it looks to be the start of a swelling on the right eye of Axel Schulz. Nothing serious at this point. And you'd think that if Schulz could catch Johnny Nelson, he wouldn't have too many problems catching Akinwande. Well, there's 2 rights over the top there from Schulz and a stiff jab. But it's Akinwande who's throwing the majority of punches. Well, it wasn't a bad round for Axel Schulz, but he didn't win it. So, I'm going to give it to Henry Akinwande. I've now got Schulz 4 points adrift with 6 rounds gone. Got a replay here from the 6th. And we're going to take a short break before the second half of this contest, of this vacant European heavyweight title fight. Henry Akinwande, 60 points on my card, Axel Schulz 56. And just to reiterate on the records, Akinwande unbeaten in 18, 13 wins inside the distance, and Axel Schulz unbeaten in 15 with 8 beaten inside the limit. And Axel Schulz having trouble here pinning Akinwande down long enough to do any damage. Akinwande just poking out these long arms of his to pepper Schulz. Double jab though from Axel. As I say, I think the last half of this fight might just suit Schulz more. Right over the top from Schulz. And Akinwande out of range with that jab, but the right got through. Akinwande not too keen here on committing himself in case he walks into one. This European Championship is a route to the world's top 10. And of course a very important match. So important, in fact, Harry Mullen, editor of Boxing News, is here ringside. And some good work now coming from Schulz. Well, Schulz has been told to try and keep Akinwande under a bit more pressure in this round. Well, that's the way. And it's rounds like this the judges will give to Schulz. Well, I'm actually going to give that round to Axel Schulz as well. The first one that I think Akinwande's lost. But Akinwande still 3-point lead with 7 rounds gone. On my card, 5 to go. And he's trained by Brian. I hate to say I haven't got his surname. Brian was of course associated so long with James Cook. Akinwande managed by Mickey Duff. And in the corner of Axel Schulz is George Francis. And there's a measure of how hard it is for Schulz to actually get those fists on the head of the Londoner. Into round 8 then. Henry Akinwande in the blue against Axel Schulz. Well, once again, Schulz charges forward, but the punches don't connect. Well, Akinwande still manages to pick off Schulz as he charges forward. But that time, Schulz did connect. Didn't make too much of a difference, though. Don't forget, Akinwande, 6'7" tall. A good 4 inches taller than the German. That's nice. The left hook to the body. Sounded like a slap, though. Don't forget, the referee and 2 judges will score this one. And once again, Schulz throwing punches, but they're not really getting through. And can Henry Akinwande keep up this pace? He's never boxed beyond 8 rounds in his life, remember? So at the end of this one, he'll only equal that achievement. Now Schulz getting through. But it's one of the few flurries he's got through with in this round. And Schulz back on top at the finish. So with 8 rounds gone, 79-75 on my card. See what I mean about Schulz charging forward and those punches whizzing over the head of Akinwande. 1 out of 3 or 4 getting through, but it's not enough. Good picture. So into round 9 then, 4 to go. And I've got Schulz needing all of these for a draw. Four rounds behind, coming into the 9th. And Henry Akinwande has never boxed beyond 8 rounds previously. Nice right from Schulz. That's the way to start the round. Of course, Schulz has boxed 10 hard rounds just 2 fights ago when he won the German heavyweight championship. Schulz catching these punches on his gloves now, but Akinwande is just flicking them out, waiting for something more meaningful. Good right again from Schulz. And again. Well, now he's making them tell. And Akinwande has been forced to use this big ring in its entirety, and that's going to wear down his legs. Well, the referee, they're just warning Akinwande to keep his punches up. That looked just about borderline. And it's significant that Akinwande hasn't really landed with many scoring blows so far in this 9th round. Schulz has. And Akinwande wants to make sure he doesn't run out of steam here. Schulz cheered on by this German crowd. He's going to be fighting for every second of this round for this fight. And Schulz's eyebrows are slightly swollen now. And it can have a psychological effect, an adverse effect on a fighter to fight into a round he's never been to before. Of course, Akinwande will have done it in sparring. Well, a good round, I think, for Axel Schulz. Well, 88-85 in favour of Akinwande so far on my card. And as I say, I think Schulz will have his best moments late in this contest. And we're getting rather late now. There's 3 rounds to go. Of Axel Schulz, done a good job with him so far. And it's 25 years since the Germans last had a European heavyweight champion. And that was Karl Mildenberger. He beat, in London, Billy Walker in 8 rounds, way back in the 21st of March 1967. And the Germans desperately want success here. Round 10 of a 12. And I've got Schulz needing this last 3 for a draw. 88-85 on my card in favour of Akinwande. And Schulz needs to keep up this strong advance. He can't afford to stand back and be picked off by these long punches from Akinwande. Akinwande throwing out what they call arm punches. There's no body behind them, but there is somebody in front of them. Nice left hook. Well, Schulz still trying to go forward, firing punches, but once again Akinwande foils him, manages to slip them. But of course it looks good for the crowd. Oh, and now you can see that that right eyebrow of Schulz's is getting rather big and ugly. Once again, Schulz throws punches, but they fail to find the target. And Akinwande knows how to foil a big puncher. Well, the pace has been good. Well, I think Henry's got that one. Once again, I've got Akinwande 4 points in front. There's 2 rounds to go, the 11th, the penultimate round coming up. You've got to wonder where the judges will go. Don't forget the referee scores. He's Belgian, Daniel van der Wiel. The French judge, Raymond Bachelet. And the Italian, Paolo Scarzo. Round 11 then. Here we go. Big effort required now from Axel Schulz in this last couple of rounds. Of course, take no notice of my scorecard. Only my opinion. Well, that's better from Schulz this time. Those punches just grazing the chin of Akinwande. Manager Mickey Duff there, just told to be quiet, get off the ring apron. Oh, and a left hook from Schulz. And Akinwande's got this terribly annoying habit of throwing a left hand, knowing it's not going to land. But one thing it does do is it keeps your opponent busy, makes him think about it. Also gives your opponent a chance to pop her right over the top, which can be dangerous. And Akinwande on occasion also shows a highly perceptive survival mode. He knows how to look after himself. Well, Schulz going forward, clubbing right hand, followed by a left hook. It looks like he's got padding for eyebrows now. Oh, look at that. Top view of Schulz's eyebrow. That's quite a nasty swelling. And it's a testament to the thumping left hands that Akinwande has been setting into his face all night. Well, Schulz, the aggressor in this 11th round, needs to keep it on though. Well, if you're going to go for aggression, you've got to give that round to Schulz. But there wasn't much in it, so I'm going to go evens on that one. So at this point, Axel Schulz on my card has got 104 points. And Henry Akinwande has got 108. That's a 4-point difference, and there's no way that Schulz can win this one on points, I'm sure. 12th and last round then, the last 3 minutes to decide this. The customary touch of gloves prior to the last bell. And Henry Akinwande needs this round as big as he's ever needed anything in his life. A couple of knockdowns wouldn't go amiss either. That would tighten it up. And I grant you that Akinwande's punches may not always have been as heavy as they could have been. But the problem is Schulz has been missing. when he's been storming forward, letting both hands pump away. And I think it's fair to say that Akinwande is not brilliant, but he's so hard to beat. Good left hand, though, from Schulz. Whoops, and cute footwork from Akinwande. Well, it looks like Axel Schulz's desire to become the first European heavyweight champion for 25 years is going to be thwarted here by Henry Akinwande. And once again, Akinwande manages to dodge those punches and get through with a flurry of body punches. Well, he walked onto a right there. Well, we're in the last minute of the last round. And there's no way that Schulz has done enough. It might just have come a bit too soon for him. His 16th professional fight. Well, there's the bell. It's all over. And Schulz didn't win that round either. Well, I've got that 118 to 113 in favour of Henry Akinwande from South London. Seven rounds to 2 on my card with 3 even. In favour of Henry Akinwande. 118 to 113 on my card. Gotta wait for the judges now. Lovely uppercut. Well, looks like Schulz thinks he's won this. That'll be a travesty, I think, if he gets this. It was a good effort, but I'm sure he hasn't won. This, of course, very nerve-wracking for both camps. Here we go. Well, that's interesting. Well, he's given it a draw. The referee has made it 1-1-5 apiece. That's 5 rounds each and 2 even. And the Italian's also gone 1-1-5 each. And the Frenchman's gone 118-115 in favour of Akinwande. So it's a majority draw. There's confirmation. Well, once again you heard it, 115, 115. Yes, 118 to 115 for Akinwande by the French judge. Well, I think Henry Akinwande considered himself very unfortunate there, but that was always on the cards. Boxing in Germany, as it would have been, of course, for Schulz boxing in London. That's life, that's boxing, that's sport these days. But the whistles and boos ringing out round this crowd.